A lot of cultures from around the world have their own traditions of dancing. Let's explore one of those traditions, the tradition of ballet, with Mr. Edward Villila, the founder of Miami City Ballet.
I'm Edward Villila. I'm the founding artistic director of the Miami City Ballet.
What is ballet? Wow.
Ballet, it's the carriage of the arms. I come from New York City, where I trained, and also where I danced. I was a principal dancer for 20 years at the New York City Ballet under George Balanchine. We are a company that is interested in masterwork. We sometimes commission work, but we know what a masterwork is already. It's previously been done. It's something we feel very, very comfortable with. We begin to put various and sundry and different styles and so on into the repertoire so we can mix and match, because we like to have a lot of variety in our program. I'm very, very happy to be a founding artistic director and a CEO. It sounds terrific and wonderful and glamorous. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of responsibility, because I'm not only responsible for the dancers, I'm also responsible for the school, the administration, and the board. So my role is pretty comprehensive. And most of my days are somewhere in the 10, 11 hour range. Once we do performances, about 16 hours. I was very, very fortunate to be at the New York City Ballet, where two of the greatest choreographers of the previous century worked together. One was George Balanchine, the other was Jerome Robbins. I spent almost 20 years there as a principal dancer. One of the great advantages of being there at that time was I had two geniuses who were making work on me. And when you have a work made on yourself, it's like a wonderful suit of clothes that's been beautifully tailored to you. So indeed, that was a highlight of my life. In terms of other inspiration, George Balanchine brought a man called Stanley Williams to the New York City Ballet. I met him on the first day. We became terrific friends and pals, and he was the person I leaned on to regain my technique. I had stopped dancing for 4 years and went to college. I joined the New York City Ballet at 21, and I needed a lot more information. So fortunately, this man and I became great pals. And after a performance, we'd sit at the old Carnegie Tavern, and we would drink beers and eat sandwiches and talk about the intimacies of our work.
I guess a typical schedule of a ballet dancer would be to obviously wake up, shower, eat, all the rest. Most of them come here early, maybe an hour or so early, around 9 a.m., and warm up. A lot of them have had injuries, and they have exercises that they're told that they have to do, or some of them just stretch on their own or do some Pilates or gyrotonic to warm up for their day. At 10 o'clock, we have company class. The whole company gets together from 10 to 11:30. Then we have 3 hours of rehearsals. We have 8 studios, so we have different rehearsals in each studio. Then we have lunch from 2:30 to 3:30, and then we have 3 more rehearsals at the end of the day. A lot of people go home after that, put ice on their bodies. We have therapists, people get massages, and things like that. Now that's in our rehearsal week. We perform most weekends. We're allowed 2 hours of normal rehearsals if we're going to perform that night. Sometimes we have 2 performances in a day. Sometimes we have a tech rehearsal and then a performance. And we generally perform, Friday 2 Saturday, 2 Sunday, or 1 Sunday. And we perform almost every weekend, and then we have Mondays off. So generally, we work 6 days a week with the Mondays off to do our laundry and take a deep breath before we go back to rehearsing and performing. And we're generally we're performing one thing and rehearsing another thing. We're generally rehearsing the thing that we're going to do next while we're performing something else. So we're just constantly working. My message to everyone out watching this is I really hope that, especially if you haven't seen what we do here at the Miami City Ballet, that you take the opportunity to come and check us out. We are one of the top companies in the world right now, and we're right in your backyard, and I think not enough people know about us. And I think that if people came to see what we do, they would be pleasantly surprised. They'd find that we're full of energy and that we can speak to them in a way that they might not have expected. I hope that you guys can be part of what's happening in culture in Miami. Miami is turning into a much more cultural city, but we need you guys to participate in that in order to make the city fully cultural in and of itself. So please come and support us and enjoy and become a more cultured human being.